For me, this project is, the physical instantiation of this project is an incredible metaphor for what's happening in the world. We have an economy that's an industrial economy that's a husk, that's a shell, and you can see it all around here. And what we're doing is one small example of many seeds that are happening all around the world of transforming that industrial economy into a new economy that takes into account relations and soul and heart. And it's just fabulous to see that happening here.
It breathes new life into the old.
Right. So it's not tearing down the old, it's breathing that life in and making it a place that we want to live in and inhabit. And it's so beautiful to see that happening here.
Yeah, all too often, money proves to be a barrier for people trying to start projects or businesses or enterprises. And we are actually focusing on the value that these businesses create and wanting to bring that focus in and build that muscle where you're really focusing on the value and showing that value, making that value visible to the community, and in turn asking the community to help support the space that's providing that value.
So there's another really neat aspect of what's happening here is that here we are in Chatham, New York, but the project isn't happening here only. There's a leadership team that is spread out across the United States. There are coaches for the participants who are also spread out. Many of the participants two of the participants, so this is a pretty high percentage, come from not the United States. We have a participant from Mexico and one from Canada. And so it's something that's happening in the virtual world, in the physical world, and in a greater mind space that's really joyous to see, because it means that it's part of this next economy that doesn't only exist local. It's local and global simultaneous, and that's really fun.
Mm-hmm. Actually, one of the participants, Kyle, pointed out that part of the real beauty about what's showing up here, there's value here that's being brought by the space, by the community, by the core team, by the other participants. But Kyle was pointing out that the real rich value is actually in the ecosystem growing around this, because of the interest that's growing and other people offering support all over the world, not just locally. And that ecosystem, we're trying to figure out how to interface with that, how to include it, how to integrate all that.
For me, there's two core things about Emerging Leader Labs, and one of them is sort of has an outward focus, and one has an inward focus. The outward focus is really on producing results, on inviting people in with projects that they think can make a difference in the world or in the community, and giving them support and space to make that difference, and working with a coach in the process of how to measure the difference that they're making. And lots of different creative measures. This is not just measured in money, it's measured in impact. And part of the goal there is to have a feedback loop back to the community to show, look, you're providing this kind of support to these people and to this workspace, and this is the impact that it's having in the community and in the world. So that's one core thing, is that we're operating it on that kind of gift economy, and so we want to produce results, show those results to the people that are providing direct value, like hosting some of the leaders in their homes. The other one is more of the inward focus, which is that the special sauce at Emerging Leader Labs is about having the ability to pull people together into teams that can produce outrageous results, that can jam together and be able to move things and make things happen. And what we're basically saying, a lot of other things that exist, like social enterprise incubators, those kinds of things, they focus very much on enterprise aspect, on the business aspect of things, and we're saying we're focusing on the human aspect of things. If you can build an effective team that can jam together in their process, then you can pull in the resources that you need, the expertise that you need, the materials that you need, and produce the results that you need to produce, and that we're then measuring in that first part, right? So for me, that's really kind of the core things. So that internal one, that inward-facing focus, means we're being very conscious about our social processes and spending some time being reflective about how the how the group is working together, and how effective we are, how well we're jamming together. We ready to take this show on the road. So I think there's a lot of space for people to bring projects and generate things from scratch. There's lots of space for that as well. But I do think that there's a lot of possibilities in partnership with lots of other similar spirited groups, because we're all trying to create new ways for things to work together and get around the things that prevent us from getting things to work in the traditional system. So yeah, we're all on the same team.